We want to talk about aiding those in need, uplifting and providing underprivileged girls and women in Africa. This is such an important discussion as well, providing them with the kinds of washable feminine products that is so important in South Africa as well, but beyond the reusable feminine sanitary wear as well. I want to talk about the partnering of the African Queen Foundation to fund endemic goiter, and I hope I said that correctly, and fistula surgery. So there's a lot to talk about with the Africa Pageant Foundation. They're doing a lot of work. Let's find out more about this from Carolyn Baldwin-Botha from the African Pageant Foundation. Now, apart from pageants, because I think this is why I was so keen to talk to you, this is not just about pageantry. No. It's not just about the crown or the tiara and the sash. There's important work happening here. Let's start with the important work first, Carolyn, if we can.
Absolutely.
Tell me about the work that you're involved in right now, because when we talk about endemic goiter and fistula surgeries, I mean, it's such an issue, isn't it?
It is. It's a big issue, especially in the DRC, especially in Mozambique. We actually have an outreach in 2 weeks' time. We're going up to Mozambique, where we'll be distributing the washable, reusable Dignity Dream sanitary towels. We've distributed about 100,000 packs so far in the last 7-8 years, and we've paid for 19 operations in the DRC. Now, what happens is, because the DRC is such a war-ridden country, the ladies, the men have gone off to war, they've got no way of supporting themselves, and they eat the roots of a cassava plant, and that actually causes this huge big endemic goiter to actually start growing. It strangles them, it suffocates them, they can't eat anymore, they can't breathe anymore. So the surgeries are absolutely life-saving. So through the African Queen Foundation and the Mrs. Africa pageant, the Miss Africa pageant, our Miss and Mr. Junior South Africa pageant, we actually raise funds to pay for these surgeries and the fistula surgeries as well. The ladies give birth, they tear, they need reconstructive surgery. They've got no hospitals like we've got. So they're out on their own. We're busy with a clinic in Mozambique at the moment, in Pemeni. We got caught with Cyclone Desmond a couple of years ago, and they literally, everything gets washed away. And if you have a spider bite or a cut, you're bleeding out.
It's something we take for granted in this country. We just don't even think about it, because I like particularly not just what's happening in the DRC, but also Mozambique, because it's so close to home. Tell me about the kind of support you're getting for this. And you can't be driving this all on your own. You need surgeries and you need surgeons to be involved as well. Who are the kind of people you're looking for to get involved in something like this? Because I'm sure it's expanding and it's growing and those problems don't go away.
No, it's getting more. We get messages on a daily basis.
Sure.
Dr. Luke from Heal Africa in the DRC has been our go-to with Heal Africa, and he has been instrumental in assisting us with the operations. So funding it, we use the pageants to raise the actual funds, and then we pay the money over to the doctor, and he then does the surgeries from there. It's a bit of a roundabout way of doing things, but it's the only way to do it. And it works out tremendously. So we've paid for 19 operations so far. It costs about $600 for an operation, and that's from start to end, all their treatments, and they can go on and live a normal life afterwards.
And I'm quite sure this is, I don't want anybody jumping up and down and going and saying that there's profit being made here. That's just the cost, I'm sure, of the medicine that's needed, the instruments that are needed during surgery and aftercare and all that kind of thing as well. So I want to be clear, that's not for profit at all.
No.
But I want to talk, excuse me, I've also got a bit of a cough this morning out of nowhere. Carolyn, we're seeing the girls on stage at the moment as well. So let's talk about the pageant, because that seems to be the vehicle to make this happen. So let's talk about that.
All right, so what we do is we use the pageants that I host from the Miss Teen South Africa, Miss Teen World, Miss Teen Universe, etc. And the contestants are asked to bring in stationery items, they're asked to bring in donations, and we then bundle all that stationery and take it off to Pemeni in Mozambique. The MSC have come on board with us this year. We're actually crowning our Mrs. Africa pageant on the ship. It's the second time in history that we've actually crowned a pageant on the ship.
Because MSC does have a link up to Mozambique. They're often heading up to that area.
Yes, it goes to Pemeni. Now, from Masinga to Pemeni is about a 2-hour drive.
I think I've been on that cruise to Pemeni. I think I went a couple of years ago. So it made me think of it,
It's stunning. It's absolutely stunning. But what we've done is we've actually built a school in Pemeni.
Wonderful.
And for the last 5 years, we've actually managed to keep the children in school supplies, and it's all via the pageants. So the contestants that compete, all the finalists, we ask them, bring as many school books, pens, papers, rules that you can bring along, and we then send that up to Pameni and we hand it out to the schools.
And the number of kids that you think are benefiting from something as basic as school books and pencils and pens, how many kids do you think are benefiting?
There's probably about 200 children there at the moment. Wow. With our last outreach, we'd sent up all the stuff ahead, and we stood there and we told the community we're going to be there on a certain day, and the community arrived, and I looked around and I said to my husband, there is no way we have enough goods for everybody. We don't have enough sanitary ware, we don't have enough stationery. And it was that story, being a Sunday as well, of feeding the 5 loaves of bread and the 5 fishes. We were able to give to absolutely everybody. And the ladies took those sanitary towels, because they are washable and reusable, and they've got no landfills. They've got no way of just discarding it. They don't have sewage plants. So it just builds up in heaps. And if you've given them a sanitary towel that they can use once, what do they do tomorrow? So the washable sanitary towels, when they got those, the joy and the expression on their faces was incredible. So we've sent up 600 packs now, with the last load that we sent up a couple of weeks ago.
Because it's so important when you talk about 600 loads of these going up, because we often talk about the number of school days that a girl child misses out on because they're not able to go to school because they don't have the sanitary towels that they need, and they're missing weeks of school. They end up then failing out of school. They end up sitting at home, etc., and all those social ills as well. So it's wonderful. And I want to ask this before I say goodbye to you. Someone might be watching now going, I didn't even know this was happening. I thought it was a pageant, but there's more to this.
Right.
Who are you looking for? Who would you like to see come on board? Maybe it's a corporate, people. Where can anybody watching now get involved, and where do they go?
Anybody can get hold of me through Pageants SA. We work with the Dignity Dreams Foundation, and they actually give the 18A tax certificates. So if anybody wants to donate any kind of money to Dignity Dreams, they get the 18A tax certificate. So it's 100% tax deductible. So anyone can assist with as little as 180 Rand, which is a pack of 6 pads, or as many thousands of rands that they can. They can donate to Dignity Dreams, and we will then send that up to, we've sent to Lesotho, to Swaziland, Mozambique. Africa is our core, and that's where our heart lies, in Africa. So no matter where in Africa, we help wherever we can.
It's wonderful, because I think it's such an interesting take on how to use a pageant to draw attention. I love the fact that the kids also have to bring something as well, and then take that on. And you're doing incredible work up in Pameni, the DRC. And we can just find you on online platforms, Dignity Dreams.
Yes, Dignity Dreams, Pageants SA, Africa Pageants. And, you know, it's a vehicle that people don't realize is such an important platform. And the lessons it teaches the young children that compete is of compassion. And, you know what, I've got something and I'm able to give something. And giving back to the community is extremely important. And over the last 24 years, we've assisted over 4 million people with the charity work that we've done.
It's astonishing. Go look for Dignity Dreams.
Absolutely so excited and happy and grateful for the contestants that we have.
You should be as well. You should be. And I want everyone to go and take a look at Dignity Dreams, Pageants SA. As I say, congratulations to you, Carolyn.
Thank you, Gary.
Incredible work being done for people around the African continent. Carolyn Baldwin-Goiter from the Africa Pageant Foundation. Go look for Dignity Dreams, Pageant SA. It's not going to be difficult to find them, I'm sure, on Google. Get involved if you can. If nothing else, just show support, but get involved if you can.